There's a lot changing in electrification. You're really focused on the fleet electrification market. How are you currently thinking about that market with all the uncertainty and change that's currently occurring in the market?
Well, it's a $1 million question, of course, this year, and with a lot of introduction and reduction of different motivations to electrify, especially in North America, we're having to remain relatively agile. North America is our primary market, and while you're still seeing reinforcement in places like Asia, especially in Europe, with the mandates and the structures there associated with tailwinds for electrification. Right now, we're dealing with a few headwinds in the US, and it's more based on, is the underpinning logic still there? And we would contend that it is absolutely still there. But what it's done with potential reduction in incentives, grants fading away or potentially being frozen, and some of the things like ACF moving toward the background as far as motivations, what we're seeing is a rebalancing away from almost false positives in terms of the economics for electrification and focusing really on TCO and cost per mile. So for us, that's where we live as the infrastructure owner and as a partner for customers that last a decade or longer as part of their electrification journey. We really focus on lowest TCO, earliest opportunity to start a long-term program. So in that sense, we're kind of now naked to the world in terms of the economics around electrification, and it's focusing us on the right use cases.
It's focusing on the right use cases. So that's one aspect that you highlighted as the policy aspect, but then diving into this, and I was shocked that we're starting to see rising insurance rates for electrification to the point where sometimes, in some cases, the insurance is more than the vehicle payment, which makes that switch harder. So you have the policy risk, you have the insurance risk. You're the CEO of this business. How do you manage for all these risks? It's almost like you're playing a game of hot potato, I would say.
You are. There are a lot of toggles, and it's a great way of thinking about the potatoes, or the plates are spinning, or the potatoes are in the air. For us, and this is why we team with partners like the OEMs, like our partnership with Daimler Truck Finance, where they already have created dynamic leasing products, dynamic insurance products. So when you think about where those costs may be moving in the interim, if you think about a first 5-year life of a leased vehicle or an electric vehicle in a depot setting, for us, we team with folks that can help alleviate those, potential spikes in the cost profile. So we're not, when we present a fixed cost for fuel per mile, we're not being undercut by something that's changing like you described for insurance. So we know going in, here's the basket, here are all the components of TCO, and if something's changing, we have to make an accommodating change on the other side potentially to keep prices where customers expect them to be in order to make long-term bets. We would also contend that thinking about electrification, customers have to be thinking more about OpEx rather than CapEx. And in previous lives, I know a lot of fleet managers and a lot of enterprises think notably about buying, owning, and holding assets, trucks, infrastructure, things like that for a long period of time. Because of the rapid evolution of costs and products, battery density, range, all those things are changing so quickly, thinking about things in terms of OpEx actually may be the most cost-effective way to do this and the most risk-mitigating way to do this if you're a fleet, which plays well into an as-a-service type of a collaboration that we provide.